Christ. This Officer 5000, Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta. Passover 2025, starting April the 9th, we got the lamb slaughter. April the 10th, we got General Muhammad's class. April the 11th, we got the black party that's going to have the Hebrew graduation. April the 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, the 56th annual Passover, the only Passover under Commander Junior YAHANNA.
Our great and holy King have honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. There's no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. That's right. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man. It is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King Yahushua, do we dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved.
April the 13th, we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread. SHALAM.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. The I.S.U.P.K presents the Lord's 56th annual Passover going down right here in Atlanta, Georgia. We got a whole bunch of events lined up for y'all, including the annual lamb slaughter. You already know. Then it's the Hebrew Academy trials. Oh boy. Next, we got the children's party. Then, you know, we got General Muhammad's scripture breakdown class and the Hebrew Academy graduation. The Lord's 56th annual Passover. Pay your Passover fee. It's only $200 to get all these exclusive events. Real black culture. The general's in attendance and the stage is set. It's going down. April the 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. This event is only for the black, Hispanic, and Native Indigenous people. We got a week full of events from April the 9th and the 13th. But remember, you gotta pay that Passover fee. It's only $200 to get every event exclusively. Here's the itinerary for the Lord's 56th annual Passover. April the 9th is the annual lamb slaughter. April the 10th is the kids party. At 7 p.m. later that night, General Muhammad's scripture breakdown class. April the 11th, the Hebrew Academy graduation. Later that night at 8 p.m. is the all-black party. April the 12th is the Lord's 56th annual Passover. April the 13th is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. $200, 17 years or older, pay your Passover fee. See you in Atlanta, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yashai, Barakatha, to all the brothers, Yahweh, Shema, Latham, Bashem, Yashai, to all the sisters, Priest and Officer 1000s of Baja, rocking out. This is a law class with my brother, Adiyah. What's going on with you, Adiyah?
Hey, Shalom, Priest, Yahweh, Shem Yashai, Barakatha, everything to Wab, everything to Wab. What's going on in Toronto?
Toronto's an interesting place, right? What we're going to talk about is a mass shooting that happened in the city right now. This ain't on the same level as like what you would see in America, nor does this happen on an everyday basis in Canada like it happens in America. So we're definitely, but to see 11 or 12 people shot in one night in one setting is good night. You could definitely, one would say, right? And Christians won't say this, but one would definitely say God is not with Canada. He's definitely not with Canada if he's letting 11 people get shot in one night. Right? Yeah. So I had an article that I was going to read. It's from the CBC News, right? And this is the headline of the article. And I'm quite sure what happens in Toronto is the same as what happens in Montreal. It's just no difference. It's just those brothers out there speaking French. Right? Like I don't know how you say blood clot in French, but good night. I can only imagine a Benjamite brother that's pissed off in Montreal, right? It is probably no different than a Benjamite brother, Haitian brother that's pissed off in Toronto, right? So I'm going to read this article. These guys just looked at the crowd and opened fire, right? That is the headline of the article that I'm about to read for you. Toronto police say after Scarborough pub mass shooting. Right. And okay, so Adia, in Scarborough when you're traveling back to Montreal and you gotta go catch the megabus?
Yeah, come.
Hold up, one moment, Adia. Adia, if you take over for a quick second.
Yeah, come. And also, you know, same for everybody that's in the front, that's usually on I.S.U.P.K Montreal, ceci est exactement la classe de loi qu'on est en train de faire avec le I.S.U.P.K Toronto à cause d'un événement exactement, une fusillade qui s'est passée à Toronto. Alors, on va parler sur cela, on va exactement mettre de la lumière sur cela. Alors, la classe aujourd'hui va être en anglais, vous comprenez? Alors, si vous parlez l'anglais, bien sûr, venez dans les classes, commentez, likez, commentez et partagez. Et la semaine prochaine, nous allons résumer avec notre classe de loi en français sur I.S.U.P.K Montréal, I.S.U.P.K France, I.S.U.P.K Haïti et I.S.U.P.K Martinique. Go ahead, please. You got it? I believe you're on mute. Can't hear.
Okay, you should be able to hear me now.
Yeah,
Now that we're not on mute, right? Yeah, so there was a mass shooting in the city of Toronto, right? And Adia, the mall where you would catch the megabus to go back to Montreal in the east side. Remember that one time we had to go to the east side, we had to rush over there so we could catch the bus?
Yeah,
that mall, or where you would get the ride share, right? There's a pub, like a large bar behind that mall, and that was shot up. 3 gunmen walked into there and shot it up. 11, they're saying 11 to 12 people were injured in that shooting.
Good night.
Right, so that's what we're reading right now. Right, so if you could, I'm going to continue reading. Toronto police say after Scarborough pub mass shooting. And listen, these people, and this is as you get deeper into the article, you're gonna find out that these people, I'm just gonna say it, I don't believe they were trying to hurt anybody. Like when I say hurt somebody, I mean I don't believe they were trying to unalive or kill somebody. They were just trying to injure people and terrorize that establishment, and people are trying to link it to a mob war that's happening in the city, right? Hold up. I still need to send this damn email. All right, so I'm going to continue reading this article while I wait for this email to load. All right, Toronto Police Chief Myron Demqui called mass shooting at Scarborough pub an incredibly brazen act of violence on Saturday as investigators continue to search for clues amid broken glass and discarded drinks. Right, they're searching for clues. Good night. Like the Toronto police, I'll just let you know, Toronto police are horrible at their jobs. Right, they wouldn't be able to find their ribs in a, like if their wife was in a bedroom with them, they wouldn't be able to find her. And that's how bad Toronto police are at their jobs. Homicides rarely get solved here, right? And that explains why so much youth aren't taking chances in the city with police, because they feel they're not being protected, right? But the Toronto police are saying they're still searching for clues, and we'll see what happens if they turn around and actually find something. it's highly unlikely that they're going to find the perpetrators of this crime. Police said three masked gunmen entered Piper Arms pub near Scarborough Town Center Mall and began shooting indiscriminately around 10:40 p.m. Eastern on started just shooting at random in this pub. And that's what makes me believe these guys weren't really trying to hurt people. Yes, they got injured, but they weren't trying to unalive people, right? Like they were trying to get the attempt murders, but not the full murder charge, right? And if Toronto police do find these individuals, you're more than likely gonna find out that they were paid to do this job. Let's see. The suspected shooters drove away after the attack and remain at large. Nobody was killed. And that's what I mean. Like, how do you go into a situation like that and start shooting, but no one dies? Right? Especially at that close range. The devastation these individuals could have done is absolutely horrific to think about. Nobody was killed, but 12 people, some in their 20s, some in their mid-50s, were injured. All of the victims are expected to survive, but some of them have serious life-altering injuries, and some were struck several times, police said on Sunday. And this is what's happening in Toronto, right? And you're going to see more of these kind of acts, more of these brazen acts of violence and crime start to happen in the city. And there's a reason for that. Let's keep reading. Police previously said 6 of them had gunshot wounds, while the rest were injured by flying glass. In an update Sunday, police said 7 of them are now confirmed to be shooting victims, as one person thought to have been injured by glass was actually grazed by a bullet. Demqui, pressed by reporters on whether the shooting is linked to recent violence, right? Connected. And this is how you know the reporters are doing a better job at finding things out than the police are, right? Because they're asking the questions and basically letting the public know what's really happening. Let's continue reading. Pressed by reporters on whether shooting is linked to recent violence connected to the tow truck industry. Right, so this is the investigator who declined to speculate on the potential motive. He said, "This remains a fresh and active investigation. We will go where the evidence leads us," he said. Toronto police said they began receiving multiple 911 calls on Friday night about the shooting at the pub. All right, so I'm gonna stop right there. And it's good night. Now, RDI, this is happening, and we're gonna see this happen more and more and more in Toronto, in Montreal, in cities that people say are safe, right? And I have one more article that I wanted to read.
So like your precinct, what if I may, right?
Come.
What I find really like funny, like especially like in those type of cities like Montreal, like you know what I'm saying, like highly developed countries, they have cameras everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They barely have camera in your TV, in your laptop, in your phone, in every corner of the street they have cameras. You understand? Like
Right.
The police station, some of these police stations, they have a whole wall full of screen where they could see everything, where every you know what I'm saying, like cameras, you know what I'm saying, that are in the streets. Yet these people that shot, you know what I'm saying, shot up, you know what I'm saying, the place, the bar over there, you know what I'm saying, they left, you know what I'm saying, they ran away. But I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, they could see, you know what I'm saying, who did it, because they have cameras everywhere. You understand? And this is what I don't understand with these countries, with these like police forces. Because with all this, you know what I'm saying, all the money that's being funded to the police, all the cameras, all the equipment that they can't do an adequate job, you know what I'm saying, when it comes time, you know what I'm saying, to find out, you know what I'm saying, what are the perpetrators, who's doing this and who's doing that. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, let a black, Hispanics, and Native Indian man, you know what I'm saying, do something wrong. Then we get oppressed. Then we get beat up. You understand? I find that funny. Salat.
Nah, that's damn right. And it's something that, again, even if, right, so we got a prime minister, he's about to well, they're coming into elections again soon, right? If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, there's no point in you voting, because voting has never worked. It's not for us. And why are you going to vote to put some oppressor over you when you could just vote for Christ? Right? Give me one moment, Adiar. Adiar, can you take over for a second?
Mm-hmm. You understand? And this is why, you know what I'm saying, you so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian, man, you know what I'm saying, leave that life crime, you know what I'm saying? We leave this life of crime behind, man. You know what I'm saying? Get in the UPK, you know what I'm saying? In the UPK, we don't commit crimes over here, you know what I'm saying? We don't sell drugs. We don't shoot our brothers, man. You understand? We don't prostitute our sister, man. You understand? We follow those laws, you know what I'm saying? The laws of the land as well, you understand? Because why? Because it's in the Bible, man. It's in the Bible for you not to be, you know what I'm saying, a murderer, a killer, you know what I'm saying, a drug dealer, a pimp, you know what I'm saying, and so on. It is in the Bible for you not to commit fraud, you understand? But to be an upright citizen like this, you understand, nobody could oppress you like you understand, you seeing when you see what they do to our brothers and sisters, you understand, in the world. You understand? Leave the world behind, man. It's time for us to be, you understand, the type of people that other people respect because of our conduct, man. The type of people, you understand, other people respect because the way that we move in this empire, man. Because the way, you understand, because of our morality, because of our discipline, man. It's time for us, you understand, to be better, you understand, than what these other races and nations expect of us, man. It's a lot.
Damn right. Right. So where was I? The water audio.
You was about to read the other article.
Yeah, I was going to say this real quick. We're going into an election. The Conservative Party, they know crime is going to ramp up, right? They see it. They see the uptick of crime in Canada. And what is the Conservative Party suggesting? They're suggesting they take away parole. So if you go to the federal pen, or you even do provincial time, they're trying to take away your parole. So that means no getting out early. If you get sentenced to 10 years, you're going to do 10 years. Right? They're also trying to get rid of the bail program. So that means you stay in jail until you are either found guilty or not guilty. So I'm not sure if you can hear me. It is going to be horrible if you're committing crime in Canada and getting caught. Right? I know a lot of brothers, especially brothers in the world, they be thinking, right? I've been getting away with this for so long. It's going to be amazing. But there's a lot of brothers sitting down in jails right now. They can't get bail. And those cells weren't designed, right? Trust me, just take my advice for it. Those cells weren't designed for one person. But they have 3 people to a cell right now. That's because the jails are overpacked, right? So I was going to read, 1 second. Where's this article? Okay. So we're reading how crime is on the rise in Canada. I'm going to be jumping back and forth between these articles. Canada ranked as world's safest country for travel in 2024. Right? And that's wild that you hear that, because in 2024, just like in 2025, even though you don't see it as much in the news, there was a epidemic of carjackings. Right? People are they see you walking down the street, they try to take your car. Some at gunpoint, some are doing it slick, some are using technologies, others are just some people. Like I know a brother in the world, someone tried to take his car by jamming his lock. right? They tried to jam something into the lock of his car and break the car. He had to go get it fixed, and he had to do the most just to get his car open. All right, we got a young man from Toronto. Hey, Shalom.
Hey, Shalom.
Hey, Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yeshai Barakatha.
Shalom, everyone. Shalom, Aquathium.
Hey, you're Tawab?
I'm Tawab.
Yeah, what's going on with you? You all right?
I'm all right. My Wi-Fi is giving me a little trouble. I'm hoping it's going to clear up there. I might have to go to data. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're Tawab. All right, if you're having trouble, if you see the private chat and you have a question, you could always, if your Wi-Fi is not working, y'all could always type your question into the private chat. But if you have any questions on scripture, like you need a scripture broken down or something, just let us know.
Tawara.
Our Wi-Fi is tripping right now.
Tawara.
All right, no sweat. One second. All right, so I'm reading this article, right? And it's about crime in Canada. And it's saying Canada's ranked as world's safest country for travel in 2024, which is absolutely wild to even think about that, right? Because if you live in Canada, you see all the crime that happens on a daily basis in your cities, right? In your you police officers being charged for committing. So I'm gonna continue with this article. According to the Berkshire Hathaway Travel Protection Report release in late 2023, Canada is considered the world's safest country for travelers in 2023-24. BHTP notes that the overall rankings are based on the average of all measures from the BHTP's state travel insurance research. Right? That's funny. Let's see. I'm going to read another article. I got a couple articles. We're just going to jump right through back and forth. Right? And this is top 10 most dangerous cities in Canada in 2005. I'm just going to go through the list for you, right? So that's Surrey, Canada. That's on the west coast. We got Kelowna, Canada, right? That's also near the west coast, I believe. Sudbury, Canada. That's Ontario. Good night. Ontario's on the map. Winnipeg. That's another major city. Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario again. Hamilton. Brampton. Kamloops. And like it would be obvious that crime would be on the rise in Kamloops, especially after the 60s scoop, especially after Caucasians ran into the homes of the Gadites, the Native Americans, and took their children and put them into residential schools during the 60s. Right? London, Ontario, good night, and Regina. Listen, Ontario has a lot of cities with crime. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wild. Now that one can say Ontario needs the ISUPK. Ontario definitely needs the ISUPK. If half of the dangerous cities that are on the rise in Canada, they said this is the top 10, and 5 of them are in one province. Like they need Commanding General YAHANNA. right? So Akim, we definitely have our work cut out for us, and what we need to do to listen. I'm gonna just say it like this: if you want crime to stop in Canada, you just give the keys to RDR. I guarantee you, crime will stop. Right? You give the keys to Commanding General YAHANNA, and crime will stop. Montreal needs to make RDR the premier, and you won't have any crime. Right? Listen, we got a young man who came in, and he's no coward, and he's in here with us, right? Because he loves his people, he loves his community, and that's how we get crime to stop. He's gonna do the same thing that RDR did, that I did, and the men above us did, right? We get it all black, and we learn to
I also love myself, right?
God. And that's definitely something that black men need to do in the city is you see the lack of love that we have for not only ourselves but one another, right? Well, we're just taught, listen, you could just die today or go to jail. That's how most black men live in Canada, right? So Adiyar, Baba Kasha, can you get me Obadiah or Salakia, young man? Do you have your sword with you? You have your Bible with you?
I do.
All right, can you get Obadiah? Go to the book of Obadiah, Baba Kasha.
Salakia, I'm still a little unfamiliar with the Roman numerals. Do you know how I would get there faster?
Obadiah only if you go to the book of Obadiah, it's only one chapter, so you won't need to read the Roman numerals for the chapters. And then if it's a KJV, it has the numbers in it for the verses. So if you could get Obadiah, basically Obadiah 1 and verse chapter in the book of Obadiah.
Salakia, give me a second.
So if you could get verse 10.
Still not seeing it.
So like if I may for help, is the book right after Amos? Right after Amos is Obadiah.
Yeah. It'll be, if you're looking, it's in the what people call the Old Testament. So what you could do, if you're ever having trouble, like you have a KJV, like a 1611 edition.
Khan. Ottawa.
Salaki, what were you saying?
I said that I have a KJV.
All right, if you ever having trouble finding it, you could always most KJVs have a table of contents in the front before Genesis. So you could always just check your table of contents and it'll let you know exactly where to look for it.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely have to.
But if you're having trouble finding it, Adiyar, for time's sake, can you get Obadiah 1 and 10, Baba Kasha?
Slacky, I'm gonna have to go to the context to see.
Yeah, no sweat. When you find it, just mark it, and then you'll be able to find it for next time. But Adiyar, can you get Obadiah 1 and 10 for me, Baba Kasha?
Yeah, I got it. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Keep reading.
Verse 11. In the day that
Right,
thou
and this is, listen, Canada has been, if you could, Canada has been extremely violent to the children of Israel, meaning the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You look at Native American life today, right, and it's horrible. Listen, the drug culture and drug abuse and alcohol abuse running through the reservations is destroying the Gadites, destroying the natives, right? And a lot of them they're only about 2 generations removed, some 1 generation removed from the 60 scoop, right? Some of them actually were victims of the 60 scoop, and they're still with us today. And they're dealing with the reality of the pain and trauma that came with the 60 scoop, right? We have in Montreal a sister who was trying to escape slavery and burned alive for trying to escape slavery. She tried to escape slavery, and they charged her with trying to burn down downtown Montreal. Now, if that's not cruel, I don't know what is. And for that shame, for that crime against God's chosen people, we're seeing Canada have mass shootings. We're seeing crime on the rise in Canada, and Caucasians are angry. They're blaming the East Indians. They're saying these East Indians, they're committing all the crime. Well, what would the Native Americans say about the Caucasians? If Caucasians are looking at East Indians and saying, you guys are committing all the crime, what would the Native Americans say about the Caucasian man in Canada? Right? RDR, if you could keep reading.
All right, come on, priest. Verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the stranger carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them.
Salakia, right? So what we're reading is, listen, in the day of our calamity, right? Our oppressor, they were damn near gambling to see who would get what. They were standing proud in the day of our calamity. They were watching as we screamed and we mourned and we lamented over the Edomites of Edom. They were watching and basically cheering it on. They were saying, raise it, right? They were the ones that wanted Jerusalem destroyed from its foundation. Now look at the results. You have black people destroyed, Native Americans destroyed, Hispanics destroyed in Canada, in the United States, in the South Americas, in the Caribbean islands. All you have to do is walk downtown in your city. If you're in Montreal watching this, just walk downtown. And you'll see your brothers and sisters sleeping on the curb. If you're in Canada, if you're in Toronto, go to Queen and Bay and just breathe in deep, and you're going to smell a rancid smell because of all the homelessness that's happening down there. Right? So let's continue reading.
So like, if I may add on this.
I'm going to jump back to that article that I was at. God.
Water, please. And we think, like, you understand, because of the lack of history, you understand, that they don't produce in school and nor the churches. We think that what the white man has done, you understand, to so-called black Latinos and Native, it is something that happened today. But when you go into a history, you go see, you understand, 70 AD, after the death of Christ. You go see, you understand, in the 600, you understand, after AD, you see in the same crimes, you understand, that we're seeing today. You understand? Even like, you understand, a lot of black people love to say, well, the white man, you know what I'm saying, gave us the Bible. The white man forced us to be Christians. They were doing the same thing, you know what I'm saying, back in the days in the 600s, 500 BC, AD. You know what I'm saying? They were forcing our people, you know what I'm saying, to become Christian and to follow Christianity. And if you don't follow Christianity, they killed you. You know what I'm saying? They committed crimes against us, you know what I'm saying? Not just right now, you know what I'm saying, like while we're in slavery and captivity right now. They've been doing this thing, you understand, for centuries, man. So like it.
You were definitely not lying. Right. I got one more article I'm gonna read, then we're gonna go into a couple more precepts. So and young brother, again, if you have any questions on what we're reading, right, or you got any biblical questions in general, it could be on topic or off topic. You can always ask. From the CDC, it's from Toronto. They said Toronto, and they said Canada's safe. Well, let's just see.
Slovakia. I also found the book of Obadiah, other one.
You found it, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Right. So yeah, just highlight that book. Because a lot of times when it's talking about them, that is a book that Edom is going to be destroyed off the face of the earth. Right, so hold up. I got another article that I'm going to read. 3 teen boys charged after Toronto carjacking. Man. Police release helicopter video of arrest. Police allege one teen held a knife against a person in vehicle to demand the keys. 3 teen boys who were chased by police on foot and in a helicopter have been arrested and charged in carjacking in Toronto on the weekend. Toronto police have released helicopter footage of the arrest of the Toronto youth, 2 16-year-olds and 1 17-year-old. Good night. After the carjacking on Saturday evening, police said the vehicle was stolen from the area of Victoria Park Avenue and Shepherd Avenue East in North York and stopped in the area of Nelson and Ellesmere Road in Scarborough. No one was injured in the incident. York Region Police helicopter helped Toronto police track the teens as they made their way through a residential area after fleeing from the stopped vehicle. Right, so that is crime for young men in Toronto.
You know that's
right?
my neighborhood, Nelson and Shepherd. Slovakia.
And what they're not telling you is crime in Toronto is on a rise. So much so, Slovakia.
Slovakia, the one I was just saying, that's my neighborhood, right? Nelson and Shepherd. That's my neighborhood. That's Malvern.
Right, like listen, this is all of our neighborhoods, man. God, Malvern has been on the news many times, right? Lord allow those brothers in Malvern can come and start watching classes, right? Lord allow that's what happens. The brothers in Malvern start to come and watch class. So Salakia, if I could, Adiyar, can you get me? Are we? Adiyar, can you get me Job 18 and 11?
Come on, priest.
And then, young man, can you get Psalms? Can you get Exodus 20 and 13? Right. So if you're looking for the Roman numerals in Exodus, if you're looking for 20, it would be XX. And then the 13 would be X and then I. So you're looking for X, X, or you know what? You're not going to need the Roman numerals for the verse. You'll just see 13. But Adiyar, when you're ready, can you read?
Come on, priest. Job chapter 18, verse 11. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet.
Right? This is talking about the crime that we see. Right? So terrors is going to make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. Right? This is talking about the heathens that are over us. Right? For their crimes against us, they're going to be terrorized. And you see it today. Right? There is a spirit of terror happening in these kingdoms that we're in. Right? You're seeing young men just go absolutely berserk. And this is crazy. Like, you have more and more crime. And I'm just going to explain to you. Some of y'all might not understand what's happening, right? But the leaders of Canada are criminals, right? Adiyar, one more second. Hold that right there for me and get me, if I could. Hold up. I need this verse, actually. Can I get Galatians? I believe it's Galatians 6. 1 second. Galatians, what am I looking for? Hold up. Adiyar, I'm looking for a verse that basically says the people don't know how to act because the head of the people are criminals. Hold up. Let me see if I can find it. I believe it's Galatians 6. I'm going to look for it. 1 second. Let me find it. Let me get with y'all in one moment. Hold up. Bear with me a moment. I'm just looking to see if I can find it. So I can't find it. It's too wild. I'm gonna look for it in a second. This is a verse I used to use. I used it for police. Officer Adiyar, are you familiar with that verse? Adiyar, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
I'm not sure which verse you're talking about, but you said it's in Galatians 6, right?
I believe it's Galatians. I used it for police before, basically talking about the people aren't good because the king is not good.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for. Let me see if I can find it.
Are you talking about Galatians chapter 6 and 8?
6 and 8, that's what you said?
You want me to read it quick? I don't know if that's the one though.
Yeah, if you could read this, I think this is it.
Galatians chapter 6 verse 8. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. Is that the one?
No, I'm not sure if that's the one. All right, forget about that. If you could go back to Job. You could go back to Job. Salakia.
That's right. Job chapter 18 verse 11. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet.
Right, and that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing happen in Canada right now, right? You're seeing brothers and sisters. Okay, you're seeing people commit crime in Canada because Canada is a horrible place. And they've been terroristic to the children of Israel. So now you're going to see more and more crime happening. You're going to see more and more just no one's going to be concerned with the law, right? You're going to see people try to take the law into their own hands, right? You're seeing here's something. We have a corrupt government, right? They will tell you that they don't want the Haitians coming in here, right? The tribe of Levi can't come in here to seek refuge, but they could bring upwards of 90,000 Ukrainians. Right? They'll tell you Jamaicans can't come up here and people from the Caribbean can't come up here unless they're working on the apple fields and the apple farms, right? But they will donate all the money to Ukraine. They will make sure their friends get to come in. Justin Trudeau signed deals with the East Indian government to bring in East Indian students. This year, they decided to crack down on the papers. Toronto universities said upwards of 50,000 people didn't show up for class on the first day of this semester, of the last semester. And you sitting as a Canadian wondering why it's so hard for you to get an education in Canada. Why can't you get a job, right? You want to know why all of the kids are selling dope and trying to steal cars? Because too many East Indians work at Tim Hortons, right? Listen, I'm 36 years old. There used to be a time when jobs like Tim Hortons, fast food was for teens. There was a time, unless you were a manager, you never seen someone in their 30s working in fast food. Today, it takes 10 minutes to make me a double coffee. That's just push the sugar twice, push the cream twice, and pour down the flat for the coffee. And it takes 10 minutes. Because the woman working there, she's in her 60s. She's not supposed to be making me coffee. You know who's supposed to be in Tim Hortons making me coffee? Some teenager who doesn't have class the first period or first 2 periods of high school, right? They have spares. They have two spare classes in the first part of the morning or in the afternoon, and they're supposed to be making my coffee. It's summertime. I should be seeing teens working in McDonald's, right? But that doesn't happen when you let everybody into your country. And listen, I'm not saying don't let people in. I could care less. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just saying, if you want crime to stop, you should make sure there are jobs for the teenagers. The teenagers won't be outside jacking cars, right? And now people are locking their doors because they're afraid. The terrors are happening. And they're literally linking what's happening to the mob wars, to the they call it the tow truck wars. Adia, have you ever heard of that? A tow truck war? I didn't even know tow truck companies go to war like that.
Come.
When I hear tow truck war, I'm thinking of, listen, one tow truck company over here is going to lower their price, and the next one's going to lower their price, and now I get, listen, instead of $70 for the hookup for my car to be towed is $50 because it's a pricing war. RDR, that's not what's happening. Young man, that's not what's happening, right? What's happening is tow trucks are being set on fire. Companies are being shot up. Businesses are opening, and there are mass shootings behind popular malls in the city. It's wild to think, like, damn, that is what's happening, right? Young man, do you have Exodus for me?
Con.
Can you read Exodus 20 and 13?
Slakia, that's XX, right?
Yes, XX.
The 10 Commandments, the people are afraid. Moses confront
One
them.
moment, let me catch up with you.
13.
20 and 13. Right. If you could, you could read 13.
The people are afraid.
Stalakia, what are you at 20? Are you at chapter 20?
Con.
It should be thou shalt not kill.
20 and 13. Thou shalt not kill. Yeah. Slakia, I don't.
Right. Read that one more time.
Thou shalt not kill.
Right. So Christians call this the 10 Commandments. Now, there are more than 10 commandments. There are more than 10 statutes, right? But to a simple Christian, they'll just, and to the brothers and sisters who are unlearned because the pastor's a pimp, right? It's not your fault. The pastor is horrible at his job, right? I can't blame you for not being able to cook if the chef that was supposed to teach you how to cook is not teaching you how to not put too much salt in the food when seasoning it, right? But now you found the I.S.U.P.K. and you're learning what your pastor never told you. Thou shalt not kill. And you're not supposed to go to a pub, right, if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American and try to unalive people or try to injure people. And again, I don't believe those people tried to unalive people at the pub. I just think they were trying to shut down the business. Right? Because I can't, 3 people just running up to a pub and shooting 12 people at random is wild. Right? If you could keep reading, Baba Kasha.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Right? A lot of the crime that you're seeing in your neighborhoods, a lot of the brothers being unalived, a lot of the violence between sisters is because of adultery. Some woman has a man, but she believes she can have a sneaky link, so she go links with another man, even though she has a man, and now her and the next sister are fighting. And Tory Lanez is in jail, Salaki. I'm just saying, it's good night, right? That's what usually happens. Sisters fight over rod, right? Men are unalived all the time because a man is touching something that doesn't belong to him, right? Just imagine what our communities would look like if a brother seen a sister and asked her, do you have a man? And she says yes. And he doesn't say, can we be friends? He just says shalom and walks off. You're not going to have the unalivings that you have. Damn near, right? For the most part, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put up a healthy number and say 60% of the beefs from old, some of them from new, are over a woman. And then you have that other 40%. It could be over like territory or two gangs that just don't like each other because they were taught from the men who were supposed to teach them that they're supposed to be Israelites, right? Because they didn't know that. They taught them that they could be Bloods or Crips or whatever gang name they want to be. Right? If you could keep reading.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou.
Right. And that, listen, there's not supposed to be a, hold up. Read that one more time, verse 15.
Thou shalt not steal.
Right. There's not supposed to be a carjacking epidemic in the city of Toronto. That's wild. I've lived in the city my whole life, and we've never seen a carjacking epidemic where Toronto police is telling people, instead of putting your keys deep inside your house, instead of leaving your keys in your house, right, you should just leave them by the door. So when they use their fob technology, they could just get the code quickly and leave, and you don't have advice from Toronto police. That's wild. That's some wild advice to give. Right? The advice that we're going to give is teaching brothers and sisters not to steal, teaching them who they are, right? The advice I'm going to give to Edom and Caucasians abroad and in Canada is, you don't want Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to commit crime, right? And you like to judge Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for their crimes, yet you don't want to be judged for your crimes, right? You commit crime a lot. You commit crime a lot. And you commit crime in Canada, and good night. Because of the crime you've committed in Canada, people are committing crime now.
So like a priest, if I may, I just want to add. And also, like, you know what I'm saying, like when the scripture in Job, it says terror shall make him afraid. Now we should think about, you know what I'm saying, about the crimes that Canada has committed. Why did God would be so harsh on the Edomites, you know what I'm saying, on the oppressor, saying, well, terror shall make you afraid? You understand? Right now in Haiti, there's a gang war in Haiti. You know what I'm saying? The gangs are taking over. Yet when you find out, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying, that the gangs are being led by the politicians are being backed up by Canada. Canada is the one supplying, you know what I'm saying, like guns. You know what I'm saying? Canada is involved in what's going on in the island, you know what I'm saying, in South America, and you know what I'm saying, involved with all these, you know what I'm saying, nonsense, all these crimes. So, you know what I'm saying, it's only right that, you know what I'm saying, these things happen in your country. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Nowadays, we see with Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, say, well, the Hispanics, you understand, the Latinos are bad hombres, the Asians are bad hombres, you understand, that we got to ship and send them back in their country. Meanwhile, it's not going to be the Haitian that's going to commit the terrorists, that's going to bring the terrorists, man. It's going to be those Arabs, those East Indian, those Africans, you understand? They're about to get loose, Canada, you understand? Meanwhile, you hating on the God's chosen people, these are the nations going to bring terror in your doorstep, man. You understand? Because this is prophecy. Because you've been such an evil people, man, evil people on God's children, you have to face it, man. You have to, you understand, drink from your own cup, man. You understand? So this is nothing, you understand, like what happened in Toronto is something that's gonna keep on happening, and it's gonna get worse, Canada. It's gonna get worse because of the crimes that you committed against us, man. Because of the crimes, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all seen that video, Akim, where that police officer stood up, you know what I'm saying, on the chest of a native brother. You know what I'm saying? The native brother was yelling and screaming on the snow. You understand? Because of things like this, terror shall make you afraid, Canada. Terror shall make you afraid, Edomites. You understand? Because of your crime. You understand? Because of your oppression on God's chosen people, man. So like,
right, and that is definitely true. Like we've read in the book of Proverbs, right? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, right? When the non-righteous are in authority, the people mourn. I'm paraphrasing it, right? And that's what happens, and that's how you get crime. People are mourning. People aren't able to pay their bills right now. Like you see people who are, good night, for lack of better words, regular citizens turning into crimes. Like you see that stuff that you see in the movies where the regular citizen, he starts turning to crime, right? The regular citizen starts to turn to crime because he feels he's at his wit's end. That's what's happening in Canada. You're going to see people breaking in. There has been a string of smash and grabs at these jewelry stores, right? Well, that's what did you think was going to happen when you raised the rent? You made sure teens can't get jobs. They're going to go do whatever they can. It's damn near unheard of that teens don't have jobs in the summertime. So what's that teenage boy supposed to do for money? He's going to do what you showed him. You showed him a life of crime, and that's what he's going to pursue. If you could, Adiyar, can you get... We are definitely coming up on the time, right? I'm going to read one more scripture. Get one or two more. Salakia?
Slacky other one. I didn't mute my mic. Slacky.
No sweat. Amos 1. Adiyar, can you read Amos 1 and 11, Baba Kasha?
come on, priest, I got it. Amos chapter 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord. Can you hear me right now?
Come.
Amos chapter 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgression of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because it did pursue his brother with the sword.
Right. Like the Lord is not going to turn away the punishment that's going to happen in Canada. All right. Listen, you pursued the Gadites all the way out to Manitoulin Island. You pursued them to every island that they couldn't run away faster from you to. You came into their homes while they were sleeping and abused their children and put them in electric chairs. Right? For the transgression of Edom, now you're seeing mass shootings in Canada. And it's going to get worse, right? It's going to get totally worse. These nations are gearing up to war. It's time for, again, this is something we always say, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's time for us to gather together. We have to gather together to make sure that the generations under us are going to be safe and be raised up in the right way. We don't need a generation of criminals. We don't need no more rappers. We don't need ball players. Listen, kids that tell me they want to be an NBA star, I just crush your dreams right there. I have no time for you to want to be an NBA basketball player. You're better off going to be a lawyer. I'll tell you straight up. You are trash at basketball. You're not going to be in the NBA. You might as well try to go to college with your basketball skill and be a lawyer, become a doctor, an accountant, something useful for the community. What use a brother who jump in the air 10 feet and put his arm in the rim? What use is that to us if he's not going to take the millions of dollars that he's making and build some grocery store so he can hire blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? What use is a multi-million-dollar NBA player or a football player if he's not paying tithes to Commanding General YAHANNA? What use do we have for you? You ain't doing nothing. You're just going to get up and go get some Edomite woman pregnant and make her call you a nigga on camera and parade you around like you're a pet. Right? We don't need NBA basketball players. I crush their dreams. Don't bring no kids around me having them tell me they want to be an NBA player. I need a doctor. I need lawyers. I don't need that. We don't need that at all. So Salakia. Keep reading, Adiyar.
Come on, priest. And did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Right, and this is how Edom has looked at us. They didn't pity us when we were going through it. Remember, they told us just say no to dope. They said say no to drugs. Cool. Say no to that fentanyl. Just say no. That's all you got to do. Just say no. You'll be all right. Right? They didn't have pity on us. They have a wrath against us. This is why you turn on the TV and you see, like Adiyar said, some Royal Mountie police or some police in these provinces stepping on the chest of a Native American brother in the cold while he screams. Right? This is why the police in those provinces, they do the twilight walk or twilight tour, where they basically turn around, take a Gadite who's walking down the street, bring him out in the middle of nowhere while it's freezing cold and make them walk back. And a lot of our brothers and sisters don't make it. They don't make it at all. Let's see, can we get one more? And Adiyar, if you have anything you want to add, you can. Young man, if you have any questions, you can ask your questions. We're about to wrap this up. If you don't have any questions, it's Tawab. Adiyar, you have anything you wanted to add?
I wanted to bring a precept, if I may. You understand?
No sweat.
If I'm allowed, if you allow me, priest, I wanted to bring Romans chapter 13, verse 1 of the question.
Yeah, no sweat. I'll read it for you.
God.
Where are we? Romans 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Go ahead.
For there is no power but of God.
Go ahead.
The powers that be are ordained of God.
You know what I'm saying? So like everything that you see, even this empire, right? Even this empire, you know what I'm saying? You see the police doing this, you know what I'm saying? You see, you know what I'm saying, those corrupt politicians, they're ordained by God, man. You know what I'm saying? The same way, you know what I'm saying, when Pharaoh, you know what I'm saying, was over Egypt and oppressing our people, God put Pharaoh in that place, you know what I'm saying, so he could show, you know what I'm saying, his miracle through Pharaoh, so he could, you know what I'm saying, destroy him. And we're seeing the same thing. However, go ahead, keep on going.
Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God.
You understand? Like in the I.S.U.P.K, we obeyed the law of the land. We are not criminals, man. You understand? We're not criminals. You understand? And this is what you should know as Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian. Don't be a criminal in this land, man. Don't go shoot people out. You understand? Don't go shoot up. You understand? The pub. You know what I'm saying? Don't go sell drugs. Don't prostitute, you know what I'm saying, your sisters, man. Let these other nations do, you know what I'm saying, what they do, you know what I'm saying? But you, as a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, your moral code should be, you know what I'm saying, like something with high value, you understand? Something, you know what I'm saying, out of this world. Something that you out of this, you understand, this empire, you understand, this demonic empire. Keep on going, priest.
And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
You understand? This is in the Bible. You commit crime, you go to jail. You understand? And this is why in the I.S.U.P.K, you understand, with knowing that, you understand, we have, you understand, the police watching these classes. We teach our children, you understand, we teach our brothers and sisters or people not to commit crimes. You understand? To be upright citizens in this empire. Even though this is an empire, a demonic empire, yet we're gonna obey the laws. You understand? Because the laws is good. You understand? Not killing is a good law, which is inside of the Bible also. Most of the laws that you see in this empire, a lot of these laws come from the Bible. You understand? So we observe the Bible, the laws of the Bible. We also observe the law of the land, as long it doesn't, you understand, like it is not, you understand, different from what we're supposed to do. You understand? Like we're not gonna celebrate Christmas, Halloween, none of these things, even if they make it a law. You understand? But as for laws not to kill, not to rob, not to steal, you understand, not to, you understand, sell drugs, we do these things. Why? Because we understand that God ordained, you understand, these higher powers, man. You understand? Even though, you understand, God will crush this nation, God will crush this empire, but it has been ordained, you understand, for now. Go ahead.
Okay. 1 second.
Verse 3.
Verse 3. For the rulers are not a terror to good. Salakia. For the rulers are not a terror to good works.
You know what I'm saying? And this is why, you know what I'm saying, in the UPK priest, you know what I'm saying, that when they see us out there, they look up to us. You know what I'm saying? When the police see, you know what I'm saying, Officer Zabaj, myself, Officer Shai One in Canada, they're seeing something strange. You know what I'm saying? We're not used to, you know what I'm saying, to see these type of, you know what I'm saying, a black man in Canada, man. And it is an amazing thing. It is an amazing sight, young man. You know what I'm saying? Something that you will experience, you know what I'm saying, with us. You know what I'm saying? When you see the police, it's like they're afraid of us. You know what I'm saying? So like it, because of the good works that we do. We're not like the brothers in the street. You know what I'm saying? We're not, you know what I'm saying? We don't fear the police. We don't fear this government. We don't fear these politicians in this empire. Why? Because we do good works. You understand? And they can be against good works. They can be against us feeding the poor. They can be against us helping one another. You understand? But they can't be against you selling that drug. They can't be against you, you understand, trying to fraud the system. They will be against you. You understand? And this is what we teach our people. Can you finish the last part of the question?
No sweat. But Salakia, wilt thou then not be afraid of the powers?
Mm-hmm.
Do that which is good.
Do that which is,
and thou
which is
shalt
good.
have praise of the same.
Exactly, you understand? Do what is good. You know what I'm saying? You see brothers out there, you understand? They're quick to kill another brother. But when the police come, what do? They run away. You understand? We don't run away in front of the police, you understand? Why? Because of what we do. Because we do good works. You understand? And this is what we teach in the UPK, man. You understand? We don't teach brothers, you understand, to go strap themselves with bombing, you understand, go bomb somebody, go bomb the metro, you understand, go blow up the bus station and whatnot. We don't teach our people to do that, man. You understand? God will bring the revenge that we need. You understand? Christ is coming back and, you understand, and tear down, you understand, this empire. You understand? Slaughter white people, man. That's in the Bible. But we teach our brothers, you understand, and our sisters, our people, you understand, to keep those laws. You understand? Don't be a criminal. And you don't have to be afraid of the police, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't go, you know what I'm saying, commit crimes out there. This is what we teach our people. So like that was it, priest.
Salakia, Adi, I threw water for that. All right. So this is I actually found the verse I was looking for now. Good night. Took me a minute. I found it. I had to go through the precept books. 1 second. Is this it? I think this is it. Let me just make sure. You know what? That's not it. I'm gonna get this precept next week, in the next scripture breakdown class, and I'll have it for you. I have it for everybody. All right. So with that said, I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja. I got my brother all the way from Montreal, Montreal's finest, Priest and Officer 1000 Adiyar. Right. We got a young man coming into class with us. Give that a hand. Right. He is an excellent example of how brothers should be in Toronto and Montreal, all over Canada, right? With that said, I'm Priest and Officer 1000. Make sure you pay your tithes and pay your past at 7 p.m. Salakia for the late start. Shalom.
Hey, shalom, Israel.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Shalom Yashala.
Christ, this Officer 5000, Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta. Passover 2025, starting April the 9th, we got the lamb slaughter. April the 10th, we got General Muhammad's class. April the 11th, we got the black party that's going to have the Hebrew graduation. April the 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, the 56th annual Passover, the only Passover under Commander Junior YAHANNA.
Our great and holy King have honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. There's no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man. It is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King Yahushua, do we dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved.
April the 13th, we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Shalom.